college football hot seat coaches. I'm doing my top 5 in the Power 5. The reason I'm doing this is because I think it becomes an interesting conversation when you have guys like Sam Pittman save at least another year of their job. Dave Aranda saved his job and has a really good looking program building out there in Waco at Baylor. And if they improve the way we expect them to improve, then Baylor's in the conversation and Dave Aranda's no longer on the hot seat. Billy Napier pulled himself firmly off the hot seat with an 8-5 year last year. There's a lot of hype around guys who were formerly there. And now there's a lot of guys who were sitting here in year 3, 4, 5, or even further beyond, who were waiting. Are they going to stick around? Are they not? What is the direction that they're taking the program? Do they even have a sense of direction? We're going to go through all those. Number 1 on this list, however, is Mike Norvell, and it's super obvious. 2-10 following a 13-0 season. You should have been able to build off of the best season since the Jimbo Fisher National Championship team. You should have been able to build off of that, utilize the transfer portal, utilize recruiting, and the advantage that it takes when you're already a school in Florida, a desirable state with a lot of recruiting talent. And instead of going and backing up 13-0 with even 10-2, 9-3, even 8-4, I guess would have been somewhat acceptable. You turn that around and you go 2-10. And it wasn't like you didn't make transfer portal additions. It wasn't like you didn't do some different stuff. You went 2-10. Outright embarrassing. The entire program is embarrassed. And now they have to sit back and say, okay, well, you went 13-0, yeah, but you follow that up with 2-10. How are you going to improve it this year? And I'm going to tell you right now that the transfer portal, they didn't work. They didn't do what they needed to do in the portal this year. There is a growing frustration, or should be a growing frustration, in the Florida State fan base because that program has built itself from the Bobby Bowden era to Jimbo Fisher and what he was able to do too well to have been what the last decade has shown us in Florida State athletics. Mike Norvell, I think, has the hottest seat in college football right now. At number 2, and not far behind him, is Mike Gundy. I'm going to be honest. This is a guy that always turns things around and pulls this miraculous 7-8 win season kind of out of nowhere. And we always sit back and wonder, okay, well, I guess he's not on the hot seat anymore. How is he going to build off of this? When are they going to put themselves in the national conversation? I don't know if they bounce back from last year's 3-9, 0-9 effort in conference play and do much better this year. I'll be honest, they're the second team I'm previewing, June 2nd. You can find that video if you're an Oklahoma State fan. But I'm going to be honest with you right now, I do not like a single thing about this team. Now, understand, usually these teams that nobody likes at Oklahoma State are the ones that Mike Gundy just finds a way to be miraculous. This miraculous 9-win season, and they come out of nowhere and they go and put themselves in the conversation of conference champion or maybe even playoff team. I don't see it this year. I just do not see it. I'd like to be wrong because I do like Mike Gundy. I think that he brings something to this old school approach to a program, but has been able to nuance it really well. It's looking bleak in Stillwater, and I don't know that he'll ever be fired from Oklahoma State, but I don't know if you can go 3-9 again, or really anything under 5 wins. 5 wins or below, I'll say. If you're not a bowl team in 2025, I think that seat starts warming up even more. And maybe it's just one of those, hey, look, we don't want to fire you, but you're not being retained either. I don't have a lot of hope for 2025 Oklahoma State, but this is when we're always surprised. This is when we always get caught off guard. I'll gladly be wrong. At number 3, I put Brent Pry from Virginia Tech. We have seen this Virginia Tech program on paper improve year over year under Pry's leadership. Last year, I thought Virginia Tech was going to be the surprise team in the ACC. I thought they were going to do what nobody expected and be a conference championship contender. And instead of that, we had really the same inexperienced feel and vibe that we got in 2023. Going into 2025, there needs to be massive improvement because they didn't lose that much. And if they cannot put themselves in position to be conference championship contenders, or at least in the top 6 of the conference at the end of the year, which I don't believe that the ACC is going to be good enough that you can't be there, then we should certainly be having a conversation about Virginia Tech in the direction of their program just as well. Brent Pry is a guy that I think his seat is slowly, very quietly, starting to warm up a little bit. 2025 might be the last opportunity. At number 4, I put Mike Locksley on here. And look, I don't want to have Mike Locksley on here. I really like him. I think he's a great head coach. Great's not the right word. I think he's a good human and a good coach. I don't think he's in a great situation at Maryland to really prove what he is and what he can be, because the issue that Maryland has is they are behind in a lot of different aspects that would be deemed attractive to a recruit at this point. They've kind of had this steady deflation year over year. I really thought they were going to have 2023 was going to be that year for them, and it didn't really pan out that way. 2024 didn't pan out that way. And I don't really have much reason to believe that they can improve here in 2025 either. If they do, fantastic. It changes our question marks. But for right now, I think Maryland's probably, Mike Locksley specifically, is the most uncomfortable coach right now in the conference. And I think David Braun's probably warming up a little bit, especially after the way they regressed last season. Luke Fickell might be getting there too. But other than those 3, I don't know that there's anybody who's particularly just on the hot seat who hasn't already been replaced. At number 5, I think that there is a growing distaste, maybe, for Mark Stoops at Kentucky. I don't know if I believe that they just want him gone. But I also don't know that I believe that they would be totally upset. This is more of a feel than anything, because I think Jeff Lebby is going to get at least another year or two to really prove what he can do. I think he's at least getting through 2025. And 2026 will be the decision-making year for Mississippi State, because their issue is they just need to give somebody a chance to create an identity for this program. Because what they lost in identity from the passing and unfortunate passing of Mike Leach was kind of the direction they wanted to go, and they didn't do themselves any favors in the hiring process in 23. They gave Lebby an opportunity. I think that 3 years is going to be their number with Lebby, so I don't think he's on the hot seat. Sam Pittman had his team improved enough to take himself off of the hot seat. Billy Napier, again, took himself off of the hot seat last year, or at least cooled it down. So where do you go? Clark Lea. I mean, look, I've been a very big fan of his for a long time. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't care what they do after last year, the improvement they have. I think he's getting at least a little bit, probably 3 or 4 years to see how the consistency builds out. So who else do you look at? Josh Heupel's not there. I mean, Shane Beamer probably would have been if they were worse last year, but South Carolina was not. Lane Kiffin's not. Brian Kelly's not. Mike Elko. I mean, it's a brand new coach. You're not going to fire him right away. And I think that we might be talking later about the potential of Brent Venables, but I don't think Venables is on the hot seat currently as of today either. So the best option out of the SEC, in my opinion, was Mark Stoops. Let me know who you guys think might be on the hot seat. Maybe give me some group of 5 options that we can look through.